Today, to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Seen a woman taken by the wind. Would you stay if she promised you heaven? Will you ever win?
Florida Gators and the Tennessee Vols teed up at the Swamp on Saturday, first SEC game of the year for both, 3:30 kickoff, and used to be a time when we got excited about that. What has happened to this series? Mark Long of the Associated Press. Mark, what's going on?
Well, simply put, buddy, one team has beaten the other one 8 times in a row. And I don't care what rivalry you have, whether it's Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Florida, Tennessee, Florida, Florida State, Miami. I don't care who you throw out there. If one team beats the other one 8 times in a row, you're going to have a hard time, calling it a rivalry. I mean, this is how bad it is, buddy. The Florida Gators, several players, 3 of them to be specific. I can even name them: Hunter Joyer, Trey Burton, and Dominic Easley. All joked this week that they sing Rocky Top during the game as to taunt the other team because they've won 8 in a row. So, maybe it's a catchy tune for some people, and maybe that's part of it here. But, they also admitted that, if this thing wasn't so much one-sided of a series, that they might be more apt to hate that song. But as it is right now, they're getting a real kick every time they hear Rocky Top.
Yeah, good point. And there was the time when they used to have people like Peyton Manning leading the band, Rocky Top. It was a really huge game, and it usually decided the East before Georgia got better and before South Carolina woke up again. Anyway, it is first SEC again. It's particularly bad because Tennessee comes off such a miserable performance against a very good football team in Oregon, and 59 points and 770 yards of offense they gave up.
670,
670, yeah. And the once proud great Vol defense got demolished.
Yeah, and and even Brett Pease, the Florida offensive coordinator, admitted yesterday that when you see a score like that and you see a defense give up that kind of yardage, it gets your attention. And he's like, you can't help but to think, okay, what can I do to exploit that the way they did, kind of thing. Now, with that said, there's a huge difference between Florida's offense and Oregon's offense, or Florida's philosophy and Oregon's philosophy, for that matter. So, I think Tennessee will probably be in this game. It'll be a closer game than certainly that Oregon game, but I think the result will probably end up just like the last 8, with Florida coming out on top.
How much does the open date help this team get back on beam? I've heard today that Vernon Hargraves now is actually a starter, or thinking about starting him, a true freshman. He's come on. Some players have stepped up. Some new people. I'm hearing good things about some of the young receivers that are starting to play better. They need offensively some spark. Where's it going to come from?
Yeah, well, I think the bye week is helpful in one regard and one huge regard, and that's the running game. This running game has been a little hit and miss, a little stagnant. It's not what we expected. Certainly it looked fine against Toledo, but not what we expected against Miami. And 2 big keys on that running game. Right guard John Jalapeno's got a partially torn pectoral muscle, missed the first 2 games. Now he's back and supposedly ready to play. And the other one is Matt Jones. I mean, this is your featured running back, and here's a guy who missed more than a month, was in the hospital for more than a week, 8 days, missed more than a month of time in total. They didn't have him out there getting hits before the Miami game, and it showed. Here, he rolls out on the field, and, one of the first big hit he takes, he fumbles. And then he gets winded in the second quarter, and he's just rusty all throughout the game. So those two elements, I think, giving those two guys back and getting them an extra week of practice and preparation, I think that's going to be huge for this team because, I say what you want about the receivers and everything. The reality is, buddy, this team's going to be a pound and ground, run it down your throat, wear you out, and try to win it in the fourth quarter. That's what Muschamp wants. That's the philosophy. That's what they're going to do. They're not, I don't know that they would change if Demarcus Robinson or Ahmad Fullwood, the two young receivers you were alluding to, if they turned out to be in year one, if they look like Percy Harvin. I just don't know that they're going to change a lot offensively. So, but those two guys are key, certainly, for them at least getting back to what they do best.
All right, Mark Long, Associated Press. Let me just present this theory to you. Someone said this to me, and I think it's something true. Teams are built from their environment. There's certain kinds of teams that run the ball and certain kinds of teams that throw the ball. Traditionally, the running teams have been Alabama, LSU, et cetera, and until Spurrier went to South Carolina. But the passing teams are usually down in Florida. There's the old theory that linemen are built to dance, not go backwards or go forwards. I mean, if you have a passing offense, they got to go backwards, they dance backwards. The question is, are the type of athletes we have in Florida, which is where most of the teams come from, the Greyhounds that we have, are we trying to make power out of speed, and is it a mismatch with the personnel?
Yeah, it was definitely a mismatch. It was definitely a square peg in a round hole. 3 years ago, Muschamp's first year with Urban Meyer's leftover recruits. And as you know, Urban Meyer wanted the fastest team in America. His linemen were long and lean, his receivers are short and fast, and that's what he wanted. And he wanted a quarterback who could run that spread option. Will wants totally different. He wants Nebraska from 1996, 1994, 95. Those Nebraska teams. That's what he wants. He wants power running, huge offensive linemen, big space eaters, and it's essentially what Alabama and LSU have won with, the last several years. So I don't know how well it fits. I know this. Right now, looking at this team, you have a hard time finding a big play receiver. I mean, I think you maybe Solomon Patton can be a guy, maybe Quentin Dunbar can be a guy, but you certainly don't have Ike and Riddell sitting over there, running routes. So from that standpoint, and I think they're big and beefy up front, but I still have some serious questions about this team, buddy.
We're talking with Mark Long of the Associated Press. Mark Long, Tom Schmitz here. Let's switch gears. Same sport, different team. The spread on the Seattle-Jacksonville game, you covered the Jaguars, is 20 points. Is Vegas right there, or should that line be a lot bigger? Is Jacksonville's really the worst team in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that the Jags are the worst team in the NFL, Tom. And I think we knew they were going to be bad. I don't think anybody thought they were going to be this bad. I mean, they've just been really, really stagnant on offense and not really much to write home about on defense. And this looks like a unbelievable mismatch. But, Vegas lines, part of that is to try to get teams to bet. They want to get people to bet on both sides. So if you make it too big, what it probably should be, then all of a sudden probably a lot of people will go betting on the Jags, to cover that line, that huge spread. So they want to try to find some middle of the road there. They still look at it as, well, it's the NFL, and, how many games are really decided by 21 points or more or anything like that. I'll say this about the Jags team. They're bad this year, but this is nothing new. They lost 8 games last season by 16 or more points, which is just, by NFL standards, is just a staggering number because, 80% of the games played are 7 points or less, in that league. So all of a sudden you go losing by 16 points or more. That's just staggering. And so they lost 8 of those games last year. They already got one loss this year by 18 or more, that season opener. And last week at Oakland would have been by 16 or more had they not scored basically a garbage time touchdown.
All right, final question for Mark Long, Associated Press. Florida favored by 17 today over Tennessee. I don't know if that's enough or too much, given the team we saw last week. I know Florida's not Oregon. How do you feel about that line on that game?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take Florida with that minus the points there. Florida's at home. Florida's had the extra week. Tennessee's coming back from across country, still reeling a little bit, and they just haven't played very well in Gainesville as of late. So I just see this one, Florida being able to run the ball. And again, I'm as you know, buddy, covering this team, the team that wins the rushing battle in this game has won 21 of the last 23 meetings. And the last 8, and if you look at that winning streak, it's just been a staggering difference. Something like 177 yards for Florida versus a little more than 50 for Tennessee. And I see about the same thing playing out this week. Florida will be able to stop the run. Tennessee won't be able to throw the ball. And then Florida will run it, probably pretty much anywhere and everywhere it wants to.
As long as Brent Peace changes up his playbook a little bit, no more quarterback sneaks down like he had against Miami, and maybe throwing on first down a little bit with Matt Driscoll. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. See you in the press box.
Anytime. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. I said Matt. I meant Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, I knew you were correct.
I had Matt in my mind, Matthew DeWard. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We'll wrap it up here on the Buddy Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you